Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. I think I'm live. There we go. Hello, and welcome. I'm Fausta Lucchini, and I'm a trauma sensitive consultant and life coach. I'm the creator of Fausta's Place to Ponder, and I work with therapists, social workers, educators, first responders, nurses, and doctors, all compassionate professionals who are affected by trauma in their workplace. I help them reconnect with their own deep wisdom and gain the tools they need to support them, both professionally and at home. And I'm delighted that you're here today. I'm going to start with a brief self-compassion practice called a loving kindness practice. This is the same one I did last week, and I'm probably going to do this for a couple of more weeks because it is one of my favorites. It is not a notice your breathing kind of practice. You don't have to sit perfectly still. You don't have to think about the breath. And I'm going to talk us through the practice so you don't have to sit in silence. But I invite you to settle into a comfortable position, either sitting, lying down, even standing if you like. As we go through this practice, I encourage you to only do what feels comfortable for you. So maybe the most important part of this is to connect with yourself and your own needs. So you can put a hand over your heart if that feels right, or another location, maybe on your belly. Some people put one on their cheek. It's just a reminder to bring not just awareness to the situation, but loving awareness to your experience and to yourself. So bring to mind a person or other living being who naturally makes you smile. Someone with whom you have an easy, uncomplicated relationship. This could be a child, your grandmother, your cat or dog, whatever naturally brings joy to your heart, brings happiness. And if you can think of more than one person or living being, then just choose one. Let yourself feel what it's like to be in that being's presence. Create a vivid image of the being in your mind's eye and allow yourself to enjoy the good company. Holding the image in your mind, repeat these phrases to yourself. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with love. The phrases you use don't matter so much as the intention of wishing well. You're free to choose your own phrases if you like. May you be peaceful. May you be free from harm. May you live with ease, or many others. But for now, add yourself to the image. Add yourself to your circle of goodwill. Picture yourself in the presence of your loved one, visualizing you both together. Holding that image in your heart, repeat these phrases or ones of your own choosing. May you and I be safe. May you and I be healthy. May you and I be happy. May you and I live with love. Now let go of the other, perhaps thanking your loved one before moving on, and then let the full focus of your attention rest directly on yourself. Visualize your whole body in your mind and release any stress or uneasiness that may be lingering within you. And repeat to yourself the phrases, may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I live with love. And finally, take a few breaths and just rest quietly in your own body. accepting whatever your experience is as it comes up. What did you notice during the practice? What came up for you? Often I'll ask if it was easier to feel loving kindness towards someone else than it was towards yourself. And if there were parts of it that were difficult for you, can you hold that in compassion and accept that that's okay too? And now I invite you to open your eyes, if you had closed them, and look around, maybe stretch, take a couple more breaths. Often people tell me that this practice is really relaxing. And I like to use these phrases when I'm feeling anxious. And I have lots of opportunity to use them, in these challenging times. Sometimes I feel like we're surrounded by uncertainty. Of course, our lives have always been uncertain for real. But for a long time, most of my life, I've been able to pretend that it was more predictable than it really is. These days, I have a lot more I don't knows. And that gives me a chance to do one thing I'm really good at, worrying. All the worrying I do has made me an excellent planner. So I use cognitive behavioral techniques, approaches to worrying and to anxiety. It's a great technique. My mother taught it to me when I was little, actually, long before I heard of CBT. So it's a deeply ingrained habit. When I notice I'm anxious or worried, I just ask myself, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I sort of picture whatever that worst thing is, and then I ask myself, if that happened, would I survive? And usually the answer is yes, right? And so then I can wonder, how likely is it that this will really happen? And usually it's not that likely. Usually when we're worried about something, we're exaggerating the risk of it happening. Not always, but often. So for example, I had a client once who was afraid of flying. And I asked her one day, we were kind of exploring that, right? And I said, how often do you think planes crash? I mean, out of all the planes every day, how many do you think crash? And she said, I think about 1 out of 100. And I must have kind of looked at her, because then she said, oh, maybe not that many. Maybe 1 in 1,000. Okay. So the statistics suggest that the actual odds of a commercial plane going down is about 1 in 5.4 million. And yet it feels like 1 in 1,000. So I look at how likely the thing is to really happen. Then I ask myself, if it did happen, could I deal with it? What would I do to be okay? And so that has led me to make plans. I have plans, I have contingency plans, I have backup plans for all the plans. I went on a silent retreat a while back, a couple months ago, and living in silence by myself for a few days, without social media, without books, without writing even, I discovered that I was pretty much always planning. My brain just did not stop. I planned lunch, and I'd plan what I'd do if I got the virus. I planned my daily schedule. I planned what would happen if schools reopened, what would happen if they stayed virtual. I figured out what we should do if we win the lottery, and what should we do if we have to quarantine for a long time. I planned for everybody in my family. While I was on that silent retreat, I worked on letting go of all that planning, all the worrying. And honestly, the most effective way I found to do it was really with this loving kindness meditation. Just repeating to myself, may we be safe, may we be healthy, may we be happy, may we live with love. Pulls my attention back to those basic needs, not the plethora of possibilities that exist out there of all the things that can go wrong, but the foundation of what our lives really need and what we're really about. So I invite you certainly to try these, or to create ones of your own, and see what happens if you use that at times that you're feeling really anxious. And if you want to tell me about that sometime, that would be great. And if you want to visit my website, follow my Facebook page, or schedule an appointment, I am available for all of that. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks.